Hello, I'm Christine. Welcome to Book Talk. Today we're discussing We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. If you don't know, We Were Liars is actually our June Booksplosion book of the month, which means we're going to be having a live show after the month is over to discuss it. We Were Liars is a contemporary novel. It's really mysterious. I'm hesitant to tell you much about it. I'm going to be pretty vague because you really gotta read it and see for yourself. It's about this girl. She's a Sinclair. It's a rich, very wealthy family. They're well known in the wealthy family circuit. And her grandpa owns this island. And every summer, the whole Sinclair family goes to this island and just spends the summer together. And our main character's name is Candace, and every summer when she goes to the island, she hangs out with her two cousins, Johnny and Maureen, and Johnny's friend Gat, who always comes with him. And their little group is called the Liars. The book actually has a kind of a creepy feel. It's mysterious. You're trying to figure something out. And that's all I think I'm really gonna say. I'll read the back to you. We are Sinclairs. No one is needy. No one is wrong. We live, at least in the summertime, on a private island off the coast of Massachusetts. Perhaps that's all you need to know, except that some of us are liars. Dun dun dun! It's a really short book, so it will not take you a long time to read it. So you should read it so we can all discuss it together, because there's some stuff for discussing. It's really well written. It was a very different book, and I'm glad I read it, just because it was different. It's tough for me to rate this book. I really still don't know how I feel about it, and I've let it sit for like 2 days to try to think about it and absorb it. But it was just like, whoa. I think I would give it a 90%. It's definitely not one of those feel-good contemporaries. It's kind of like a deep thinker contemporary. I would rate it 4 stars on GOODREADS because I don't want to read it again. It's not the type that I'm like, oh wait, that was so wonderful, I want to hug it forever. It's more like, whoa. I don't want to say anything else, okay? So go pick up the book. Hopefully we'll see you at the live show. If you don't want to be spoiled, you have to leave right now. Bye, 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 bye. Are you gone yet? Are you still here? Or are you saying for the rest of my performance, the performance is done? Bye, spoilery people. Bye. Bye. Okay, so I'm assuming you've all read the book. So We Were Liars! Okay. This book looks pretty good naked. I'm digging the spine, and the inside is pretty. It's like summertime. I think I was slightly spoiled. I wish I wasn't. I wish I didn't know that there was gonna be a twist at the end, because even just knowing that one exists had me guessing around every corner what is the twist gonna be. And I guessed it right away, but the title misled me. So it made me think that my guess was not going to be right. This really, for me, it kind of had a Mara Dyer feel to it. I didn't know if I could trust the narrator. Start the book off, and I know there's gonna be a twist at the end. I know it's something shocking. You have this nice little map in here. That's nice. That June, summer 15, Dad announced he was leaving and departed 2 days later. My father put a last suitcase into the back seat of the Mercedes and started the engine. Then he pulled out a handgun and shot me in the chest. I dropped the book. What the fuck? I was standing on the lawn and I fell. The bullet hole opened wide and my heart rolled out of my rib cage and down into the flower bed. I'm still like, what the F? Oh my God. Blood gushed rhythmically from my open wound, then from my eyes, my ears, my mouth. You keep reading and you're like, wait, she's not dead yet. And then you kind of understand that this is just a big metaphor for her feels. And she does this all the time. It got to me a little bit. Because you know me with the hypochondriac stuff, actually, I was afraid I was going to have a really hard time getting through this book. When she first had the incident, she kept talking about her headaches and throwing up and stuff. I was like, okay, I have to put this down. But once I got past that, her migraines kind of became something in the background because we already understood them. So it wasn't as, but very Mara Dyer feeling, right? Have you guys read Mara Dyer? Mara Dyer is a little less sad. Again, that's why I took away a star, because I'm not a huge sad book person. It's pretty sad. This is pretty depressing. At the end, you're like, oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Did any of you guess the end? Or did any of you know that there was gonna be a twist? If I didn't know there was gonna be a twist, I don't know if I would have guessed the end. It was when she was doing the emails, and no one was answering the emails. And I was like, wait a minute. Are they all dead? And they were! When I read the end, when I read that sentence about them all dying, I still sucked in a deep breath, like there was a gasp. But I was like, oh my God, remember when I guessed that back in the first 30 pages? Another insane thing about this story, it's so short, but I read 8 pages, I felt like I read 30 pages. I read 30, I swear to God, I felt like I'd been reading forever. And I get my head out of the book, and I look down and I'm on page 35. could not believe it. It's a rare thing for 30 pages to feel like 100. E. Lockhart is so good at condensing a story and making it feel like it's not condensed. You're so intensely in Candace's emotions that it feels like you've been with her this whole time. So the emails came around page 36, 37. Right after these pages though, it sounds like she was raped or something, or that they ganged up on her because of the title, We Were Liars. I still hadn't seen why they were called the Liars. And we never really get an explanation for why this name, the Liars, came into play. That really steered me wrong when I was reading, just knowing the title. I'm like, well, it's called We Were Liars. I feel like this whole thing is one big lie. They covered something up. And I guess we could look at it like the parents were liars. Everyone is a liar. They all lie to themselves about their feelings and about the world around them, really. They don't acknowledge the poor. They don't acknowledge their own feelings when their grandmother dies. It's all a lie. Their whole life is a facade, maintaining an image for the public. And I guess that's why it's called We Were Liars. But I want to know what sparked the name for their little group of friends, the Liars. It's capitalized in the book over and over again. Marine, I don't know how to say Marine's name. I called her Marine, but is it Mirren? I'm not sure. Mirren. She's the only one that I feel like really lied in the Liars. She lied about her life and her fake boyfriend and her fake sexual intercourse and adventures. They kind of lied to Candace about the summer and the stuff that happened, but they didn't actually. They were ghosts. Oh, this is another thing. Do you think they were ghosts, or do you think she was hallucinating the whole thing? Because I've gotten the impression, like, at the end, I thought they were ghosts. I was talking to Ariel from Ariel Bassett, and she was like, no, they were hallucinations. So it's kind of open to interpretation. There are little things like the roses. Ghost Gat gave her an envelope full of roses, and she physically has that with her. But she could have gone and got those roses herself in a weird subconscious trance and gave them to herself. She's really messed up by this whole ordeal. The ordeal! Can we just talk about how stupid! The stupidest plan! I couldn't even believe it. When they first were talking about it, she's like, yeah, one on each floor. What? Why would you put one person on each floor to burn down a house? Dude, are you the stupidest? Have you never watched a television show in your life? You don't need to separately go to each floor to catch it on fire. You get the bottom floor on fire, you get all the other floors doused in gasoline. That thing's going down. I get that they're drunk. A little. They're a little drunk. I get that they're 15. Still, I was not this dumb. I understood fire, catch fire, and kill people. When she set the room on fire herself without knowing where everyone else was, you don't even have a specific signal to start the fire. The stupidest plan of all on Earth forever. We learned this so gradually. We first learned that the dogs died in the fire. That was sad. That was sad. It really hurts when we hear about a dog dying anywhere. If you don't have one, it probably didn't hit you. If you do have a dog though, it gets you. Remember that episode of Lost? I think it was the finale of season 1. They go off on the raft and Walt's golden retriever starts swimming after him on the raft, and it's just like the dog can't come and they're just leaving without him, and it's just like really gets you. Same thing. She's talking to Gat, Ghost Gat, and she's like, we killed the dogs. Yeah, not only did you kill the dogs, you killed yourselves. You're so stupid! Why wouldn't they just douse the whole thing in gasoline and then throw a match on it from outside? I understand their initial thought process. We have to burn down everything in the house so that the family doesn't have anything to argue over. And it's a nice thought. Let's do the things that we're afraid of. And I don't dislike that motto, do the thing that you're afraid of. But I like it in a more put yourself out there type of way. Don't be afraid to do things like socializing with new people. Not set houses on fire, not commit arson. If you're gonna commit arson, do it right! Watch a YouTube tutorial. Google it. You have so many options, you 21st century children. It's hard to get over the anger. The anger just started as soon as we heard the fire plan. Initially though, I was pretty convinced after bypassing my initial thought that they were all dead. I was pretty convinced that something happened with her and Gat, that like Gat hurt her accidentally. I liked what the fire symbolized. I liked the idea. They wanted to take things into their own hands. But again, like, you're so stupid. Like, none of those 15-year-olds knew anything about anything. None of those 15-year-olds drunkenly could know that fire is fire. Why would you split up to gasoline the different floors? This could have all been avoided. Now that I've gotten that out of my system, overall thoughts. The writing was insane. I couldn't believe how short the book was for how long that it felt. I liked that the chapters kind of ended inside the pages. I love when that happens and they just start anew without having to start a new page. And when we did start a new page, it was a new section. I love the mysterious tone. That's what really kept me going. What happened? I love this title. Look, a fire. It's so casual. Like, look, a bird, a distraction. And then it unfolds how serious this fire ordeal actually was. I didn't cry at the end. I didn't have streaming tears. What did make my eyes all glassy was her thinking about her mom and how her mom is always telling her that she loves her and that she cares about her, and how she's thinking to herself, my mom is telling me that she loves me even though I'm crazy. She loves me even though I'm an insane person who killed my cousin. That got me. The only other thing that really brought me to tears was when Candace first came back to the island after summer 15, I think it was summer 17, and she was talking to Mirren, and Mirren was like, I love you. And she shouts into the sea and she's like, I love my cousin Candace. Candace had been so down and she was feeling so left out of the liars. When you think about it, there's so many instances. She was always hanging out with the ghost liars. It's crazy that no one caught her, that her parents never saw her doing it, that her mom never followed her to the Cuddleton house. Maybe she did. Maybe she really actually knew the extent of her insanity. That's why she was so concerned. It all added up at the end. That's why the kids didn't have to go to the family dinners, because it was weird that their parents wouldn't make them come to the suppers. The cousin, the little cousin, how we said how Cuddleton was haunted. That was interesting. That's what made me really think that they're ghosts. That why would they drop that Cuddleton is haunted? Unless it was that's what encouraged the subconscious of Candace to put them in Cuddleton. This was there was a humdinger of a book. A humdinger of a tiny contemporary. Not what I would have been expecting, especially if I did not know that there was a twist at the end. Please share your thoughts. Now, having finished the book, I kind of file it away with the sixth sense in my brain. It's kind of that kind of ordeal. Like, the entire book is really Candace's experience after this horrible accident. The grief and the guilt and how she coped with it. She couldn't cope with it. She went crazy. You guessed the end. I want to hear. Thanks for watching. I'm Christine. I'll see you next time.